to my YouTube channel. My name is Princess Immaculata. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about house help and their caretaker. Alright, I found out these days, or not just these days, just I have the opportunity to talk about it now. I found out these days that people go to the village, more especially they go to the village, and they look for people to help them out in house chores in the house, and they go to village to pick people's children, and by the time they pick people's children, they bring them to the city and start maltreating them. I don't know the reason for that. I want to understand. I want to ask you a question. Now, you carry that child, you pick that child from the mom, isn't it? For her or for him or her to come and help you out. The mother or father or the parent release that child to you because they are not financially capable to train that child. Even they can't eat well. They can't eat well. That is why they release that child to you. I bet you there's nobody that will give birth and want to release his or her child to anybody. Nobody that gives birth that wants to release he or her child to anybody. Nobody. You can bet me. You can bet me. Nobody. But circumstances of life, financial incapability makes people to release their child to you to come and become your house help. It's just a vice versa thing. The child comes and helps you in the house so that you can put them in school. Some people even go as far as leaving that child with them. They don't go to school. They won't put them in school. They just leave them at home for that child to be just working for them. How? People don't know God. Some human beings don't respect God. They don't honor God. Because if you honor God, you cannot pick someone else's child and bring that child to your house for that child to just stay in the house and be helping you. And except if the agreement between you and the parent is that it's just going to be helping you. In that case, do you know that you are going to pay them? Every month you are going to send money down to them. That is what it is. And they will tell you how much you are going to pay them. Since you are not going to put their child in school, since they are not going to train their child in the primary, secondary, because usually it's primary, secondary, and by the time the child finishes, you just put him in one or two vocational jobs where he can learn one or two, learn tailoring or fashion or tailoring, or it's widely called now fashion and designing, and then hairdressing. Or there are so many things people learn these days. Except you people have such an agreement. But it's an agreement whereby they give you that child to help them train that child in school, in education. Then the child will help you at home, and you bring that child and keep that child to be helping you. The day God will flog you, the day God will remember you, you will be in hot soup. You'll be in hot soup. That's the day you will remember and start shouting that your village people have remembered you. Meanwhile, you are suffering from the nemesis of what you have done in the past. Some people, they even bring the child to school. They stick to the agreement they had with the parents of the child. They stick to it and they put the child in school. But the only thing is that they maltreat the child. The child goes to school and comes back, and he's helping you. He goes to school and comes back. Your own child goes to school and comes back. And by the time they come back, after your child eats, at times the house help will not eat. At times the house help will not eat. See, I'm talking by experience. I also was an house help. In my own case was not that my parents were not able to train me in school. In my own case, my mommy loves his siblings so much, and he gave me to one of his siblings. So when I eat in the morning, I don't get to eat again until in the night. Guess how old I was? 6 years. That was when I went to my mother's youngest brother's place, and I was sorely maltreated. I'm going to tell you the story of what made my mother bring me back to he took me forcefully from his hand. He didn't know I was being maltreated. He didn't even believe it. The day he noticed that I was being maltreated, he didn't believe it. My mommy was shedding tears. He said, I gave you my own child out of love, and this is what you could do to me for giving you my child out of love. That's a story for another day. Let's go back to what we were saying. And this child is in your house, and when they go to school and come back, you don't feed the child in the afternoon. You don't allow him or her to eat until night. And you say you are a Christian, and you say you are a Muslim, because in all these two faiths that I mentioned, we have our Bible and you have your Quran. And I believe in Quran. There's no way it's written that you should maltreat people. I've not read Quran before, but if I should speak by the Bible that I have read, is a very bad thing to maltreat anybody. God detests it, because you don't know what it took him to create human being. Yeah, it's by mere word that he's created human being, Abi. Or you speak a word and create human being. Speak a word and create your own. So it took him a lot to have created human being. It took him a lot. And what you do is for you to maltreat the human being that he has created. He can't be happy with you. It's not possible for him to be happy with you. And the child comes back, you don't allow him to eat in the afternoon until night. And when he's eating in the night, you don't even get to allow him to get food. You just give him something that you know that child will start stealing, and by the time he starts stealing, you start beating him, and you have not fed him food. You have not fed him right, you have not fed him well, and you don't want him to steal, you don't want her to steal. God will have mercy upon you. You that you are watching this video, God will have mercy upon you. God will have mercy upon you. And in the morning, that child, you want to go and wake that child in the morning, instead of you to call the child's name and tap the child, what you do is to kick the child. You are still sleeping. Why? You are still sleeping. Why? Please, I want to ask you a question. Is it not the same 9 months that you carried your child and gave back? The day you are giving back, it was like you were dying. Same suffering that you went through when you gave back to your child. Same thing the mother of your househelp went through when she was giving birth to her own child. Same thing. And you felt like treating the child anyhow because it's not your own child. Just little thing that the child, little mistake, you ask that child to iron your clothes. You know that child is still a child. You have a child of 15 years, but you have left your own child of 15 years and you call a child of 10 years to come and iron your clothes. What do you expect? He's going to burn your clothes. He probably might burn it. He probably might not burn it. And by the time he burns your clothes, you use the iron to stamp on his body because he burnt your clothes. I want to tell you something. Every day is for the thief. One day is for the owner. You will be maltreating that child, maltreating the child. But one day, breeze is going to blow and the anus of the fowl will be seen. The day, there's a day you are going to beat that child and inflict injury on that child. Maybe blood is coming out and he just gave you money, or you take, rush and buy razor for me. And the child goes out to go and get razor and somebody sees the child, blood is coming from the child hair. And people like me, Aproko, we like to buy other people's business. And I say, who did this to you? And we say, it's my mommy that did, or it's my auntie that did it to me. And they will say, where is it? Come out here. By the time you know it, the whole world will know what you are doing. We expose you. People like me, if I'm there, I'm going to video you and put you on the internet. So people to know that you are wicked. Most of you are dicknesses. You are elders in the church. You are pastor. Even you, pastor's wife. That's what you do. You keep your own child and secure your own child, and all that people's child will be the one working. And there's something that you don't even know. Don't you know you are training that child? That's househelp. You are maltreating them. You are also training the child, but your own child will be sleeping. If they bring both of them in an open competition to come and cook, your child cannot even cut onions, cannot even slice onions, but your househelp will do it and do it very well. We do it very well. Why? Because you don't want, I love my child so much. I don't want my child to suffer. I love her so much. Your house help is the one that you know, invariably you don't know you hate your child. You hate your child. It's your house help that you love. In as much as you are maltreating her, giving her a child of 15 years, you go and pack the whole clothes in the whole world. Pile it for him or her to be watching while your child is inside watching Telemundus. Your child is inside watching Telemundo and your house help is outside washing clothes under the sun. God will have mercy upon you. God will have mercy upon you. You better do that child. Take that child back to the parents' house and stop all this nonsense that you are doing. Stop all this nonsense. Your child, you are going out. People are able to differentiate your child from your own child. You are not doing it's not right. Don't you know it's not right? Is your the way God created your child is the same way God created you. Gave birth to your child, you carried your child for 9 months, and you delivered through your child through the normal way. You know the normal way. Same thing. It's not the same. It's the same human being. So why is your child different from? Why is people differentiating your child from? Except the only way they can differentiation different. There are different ways. You know, resemblance. Somebody can look at your face and say, oh, this is your child, but not in the terms of maltreatment, where the marks is all over the child's body. Mark is all over the child's body. That's the one I'm saying. Or the child is wearing a tattered clothes. Your own child is well dressed, not up, and the house help is wearing a tattered clothes. Don't you know what you are doing is not right? And you go to church, and you go to mosque to pray, and you want God to have mercy upon you. You better be careful, because that child, you don't know, at times your house help can be your help, your destiny helper tomorrow. You never can tell what he's going to become tomorrow. You only took some people, they are very strong, you know, strong-willed. You just sent her to secondary school, and you sent her to primary school, and sent her to secondary school, and you stopped there. Maybe he left your house. So because he wants to be a graduate, you can start going to the park and becoming all these people that carry load in the market and get money, and he can use it to train his or herself in the university, and before you know it, he becomes your helper. What if you have treated him bad, and at the moment that he has risen to limelight, he has started making money and he's boxed up? What about that time you are already you don't have anything at that time, you are hungry? How can you look into that child's house, into that child's eyes, and ask that child for help? You must be very, very careful. You must be very, very careful. All these are presidents today, all the Dangote, the Otedola that you know today, and Mark Zuckerberg, all of them that you know today, they were once child. They were once children. So what makes you think that child will not be the Dangote of tomorrow and become your destiny helper? Be careful the way you treat children, people's children. Treat them right, so that it shall be well with you. Bye bye.